So I want to show you guys, this is one of the most heated moments of the night, the first debate between Biden and Trump. This is one that people were talking about for a while. Let's take a look.
Position that he pays less tax than a school teacher on the money a school teacher makes is because of him he says he's smart because he can take advantage of the tax code. And he does take advantage of the tax code. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts. And I'm going to eliminate those tax cuts and make sure that we invest in the people who, in fact, need the help. People out there need help.
But why didn't you do it over the last 25 years?
Because you weren't president. Because you weren't president screwing things up.
You were a senator.
You're the worst president America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
let me just tell you, Joe. I've done more in 47 months. I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe. We've done things that you never even thought of doing, including fixing the broken military that you gave me, including taking care of your vets.
Broken military. I'll never know where the hell he came up with this nonsense from. The idea that like Obama and Biden weren't continuing the military-industrial complex like every other president, of course they were. It was abysmal. We spent way too much money on the military. He's talking about depleted military. He always does this. Like, we spend more than the next 10 biggest nations combined, and that was even under them. So the military is way too big. Imagine doing the right thing. Like if Bernie was president and he cut the military like 30 or 40%, these guys would just lose it. And they'd be so wrong. I mean, just insanely wrong. But anyway, yeah, so the two lines there was Biden when he said, "You're the worst president America's ever had. Come on, man." I mean, I find that line hilarious. Like, it's pretty funny. I was tweeting about it when I heard it. I was kind of shocked that he said it. Like, I wasn't expecting something like that. I think the funniest part about it was that he almost seemed like he genuinely wanted Trump to be like, "I agree." The way he said, he's like, "You're the worst president America's ever had. Come on, man. Like, admit it. Come on, you know it's kind of true, isn't it?" I mean, listen, as a matter of fact, I think you have to say that Andrew Jackson, Native American genocide, Trail of Tears, worse. George W. Bush, Iraq War, hundreds of thousands of innocent civilians killed, worse. The nuking of Japanese civilians, Truman, right? Where about at least 200,000 dead, that's worse. A lot of presidents own slaves, gotta say they're worse. But yeah, there is an argument to be made worst in modern American history. Again, I would argue Bush is probably worse, or at the very least it's tied. But there's an argument there, but he didn't say modern. He said worst president America's ever had. Perhaps I'm being too literal and like trying to fact check this. But I think that was, either way, I think that was a good line. I think that made a lot of people, a lot of Democrats go like, finally, somebody saying some stuff to his face. I felt like the Hillary attacks weren't as like blunt as a lot of the Biden attacks are, because Biden's got that everyman vibe to him where he's shooting from the hip with no filter. So yeah, not a bad line. But Trump's comeback wasn't bad either. He said, in 47 months, I've done more than you've done in 47 years. I thought that was a good line. I'm not sure which one landed. Overall, we know that the debate poll showed that people thought Biden won and Trump didn't, but this was one of the most discussed moments of the night. And I will give Biden credit for the point he made early on, which is, I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts. Now, there are articles that the Democrats are already backing off of that because they're idiots and morons and also somewhat corrupt and owned by corporate America as well. But yeah, if they do that, if that's something that, Biden would try to do as president, I would 1,000,000% agree with that, because as you guys already know, because we discuss it all the time, 83% of the benefits of that tax bill go to the top 1%. And in fact, it's a net tax increase on people who make $75,000 a year or less over a 10-year period. So all the cuts for the wealthy are permanent. All the cuts for regular people are temporary. It really is a scam of a bill to just give money to corporations and the wealthy. The corporate tax rate went from nominally 35% to 21% under this bill. Biden says, I'm at least going to take it to 28%. So at least he wants to raise taxes on corporations a little bit. It's his most reasonable take. So, yeah, I agree with Biden on the policy front there. But again, this was one of the biggest moments, particularly because of, you're the worst president America's ever had. Come on, man. And the 47 months, 47 years line from Trump.